Hey everyone, it's Lisa here from Business and Heels. And one day after International Women's Day, we're still celebrating. So happy International Women's Day. And today I'm joined by lovely Mary Rose Chambers, all the way from UAE. Hey Mary, how you going?
Hi, Lisa. I'm good. Thank you. Hi, ladies.
And Mary's here talking to me today about breaking the bias. As you know, we've been doing lots of really cool stories about women who've had to face a lot of biases and the things that they've done to overcome them. Mary's got a really unique story. She works currently as an office manager for Amundi Assets in UAE. Mary, tell us a little bit about your story and tell us how you broke down some of the biases.
Sure, Lisa. So I used to work as an office manager for another asset management company, which was also French and happened to be one of Amundi's big competitors. And I'd been with them for about 8.5 years. And at the point where I left, it was getting very political, corporate politics, internal politics, and all of that. And I thought, okay, I think it's time to make a break. And I used to work with a lot of headhunters at the time who knew me fairly well, knew my experience with the company, and said, "Oh, Mary, your CV is really strong. It'll be easy to get you another job." And I thought, okay, great. My contract had a 3-month notice period because of my role in the company. So I had to resign and then start looking for a job. So I did that. And then when I started asking to be represented for certain roles, I started to get a lot of resistance from the headhunters saying, Mary, you're the wrong nationality for this job, or you're the wrong age for this job, you're the wrong shape for this job, you only speak one language. Uh, you only speak one language. I mean, yeah, everybody speaks one language here in Dubai. So it was kind of an odd thing for me to hear. And then they were saying things like, oh, there's younger girls than you who speak 3 languages and they know the same skills that you do. And it was kind of demoralizing and demeaning for me to hear those things. But at the same time, I knew my skills were in demand. I knew I had the perfect amount of experience to take on a role. I mean, sure, there are girls who look better than me and who, speak multiple languages and who have the skill, but they wouldn't have the know-how or the experience that I had. And I was convinced that I had the magic I needed to get the job that I needed. So I thought, okay, let's just keep doing this. Um, and then I went through a phase where, obviously, because I was living in a country where I needed a visa to stay, I set up a small business and I was doing like little projects or temp work or part-time work just to fill the gap and kind of keep myself afloat. Went through a little bit of a spell when my mom passed away. So I was grateful for the fact that I was working on my own and I could be with her. And then came the time to go back to the corporate world. And now I'm closer to 50. I was literally 49, looking for work again. And I'm thinking, how is it going to pan out? Still believing I had what it took, you know. Um, and then I got back into the headhunters saying, I'm back on the market. Come on, guys, there's got to be something. And they were like, no, 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 same reasons again. Mary, you're touching 50. Nobody's gonna look at your CV. You're overqualified. Oh, that was another one. You're overqualified for this job. Okay, that's a new one. And then I get a call from a friend of mine. She was actually an ex-colleague. And she said, Mary, I've been trying to get hold of you. I just got your number. There's a role that I know about, and I think you'd be perfect for it. And Lisa, believe it or not, it was exactly where I left off from my previous company. So I went for the interview. I met the CEO. She liked me. She then invited me back a month later to meet the rest of the team. And I wasn't aware, but during the month, she had done some background checks on my experience. And when she called me back the second time, she said, the reviews I got from your previous employer were outstanding. She said, I've never heard reviews like that. which I wouldn't have got from your CV. So, the fact that I was referred by an ex-colleague, and then I had, the comments back to her. It was just amazing. And then I get into this company, start working with them. Literally, it was like picking up from where I left off from the previous one, because my first team meeting, I'm sitting there and I can hear the same, the client names are the same, the strategies are the same, the way things are done are the same. So the gap was about 10 years by then, but obviously things hadn't changed much. But all I can say, is like, don't give up. Just keep going.
Yeah, I can imagine. So much bias from the recruitment firms. And I think you mentioned to me earlier, the same recruitment firm was putting other people forward, but not you. And you end up getting the job. So in some ways they missed out. So I guess there's a lot of really good lessons about believing in yourself.
Absolutely.
And clearly the recruiters are pretty shallow if they're picking on your appearance or it's about experience. Best person for the job, it always should be. So you wonder what they're doing for others if that's how they were representing you.
Yeah, true. Like I said, you've got to believe in yourself. So I remember one time in my previous company, because I was the office manager, I was asked to interview all of the admin staff. And it was never about the way they looked. It was always about the skills they brought to the table. And there was a CV that came through twice, through 2 different agencies. And the one thing that my boss kept turning it away for was that the girl had a job as a bartender. And, and it was just a short time that she was doing that job. So I said, I'm really keen to call this girl in. So we called her in. And she was the most elegant, well-presented young thing, She didn't have the skills. To be very honest, she didn't have the skills. But the way she presented herself and her determination to do what was required, she ended up getting the role, and she proved herself well beyond what we expected her to, So, the bias is sometimes, it's just because of the one little thing that she might have been overlooked, but don't give up.
Yeah, I think that's a great message. So don't give up and network. I mean, Mary ended up getting that job because somebody knew her and knew of her and recommended her. And 85% of jobs come around that way. So if you don't know anyone and you only know people within your own organisation, you're not opening the door up to potentially new and exciting jobs. So if we can encourage you to do anything, do that. And I'm sure Mary learned a lot of skills in the 10 years that she had out of there. And I think today you've got another side business going too, haven't you, where you support other. Yeah, tell us a quick bit about that.
So I started something, and it's called Magical Mary at the moment, but I think I'm going to change something there. And basically, it's just a platform to give people, for one thing, the belief in themselves, to remind them that you've got to keep believing in yourself, believe in the magic. There's possibilities. I have this way of looking at a problem and turning it into a possibility, because to me it's not a problem, it's a challenge. So the thing is, okay, look at it from every angle and then see the possibilities that come out of it. So I've now been certified as a mindfulness and a happiness coach, as well as a workplace specialist, workplace happiness specialist. So it's all about really, bringing joy into your career and not just having it as a point of bringing in money to survive.
Well, and I think you have to appreciate Mary's unique skills as an office manager about pulling on, it's like an octopus, 100 different things going on at once, and often lots of competing deadlines, and pulling it all together so that it all meshes. So I think your unique ability to see all that from a work perspective and then apply some of the other learnings that you have would be quite unique.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, Mary. for joining us and sharing that story. Hopefully, if you're facing some of those biases, and we know ageism, race, sex are all biases, particularly in the recruitment space, believe in yourself and keep going. You'll get there. Thanks very much, Mary, for joining us.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.